An armed police officer patrols in Horse Guards Parade in London. An 18-year-old man has been arrested in Dover in connection with yesterday's terror attack on Parsons Green Station in which 30 people were injured. The UK terror threat level has been raised to critical. Jack Taylor. Getty Images. Demonstrators hold banners during a protest to lobby MPs to guarantee the rights of EU citizens living in the UK after Brexit. Outside the Houses of Parliament, Tolga Akmanara. Rupert van der Werf. Summer Place Auctions. Natural history specialist moves a 1-year-old baby mammoth skeleton at Summers Place Auctions on September 12, 2017 in Billingshurst. A family of 4 mammoths, found together during building works near the Siberian city of Tomsk in 2002, will be on sale on November 21, 2017, and are expected to sell in the region of £250,000 $400,000. Rob Stothard. Getty Images. Members of the Royal Navy carry supplies on board the amphibious assault ship HMS Ocean at the naval base in Gibraltar before leaving to provide humanitarian assistance and vital aid to British overseas territories and Commonwealth partners affected by Hurricane Irma. Britain has pledged £32 million, €35 million, $42 million in aid and sent hundreds of troops, supplies and rescue equipment on several flights to the British territories in the Caribbean since the disaster. Jorge Guerrero. Getty Images. His Holiness the Dalai Lama holds the hand of Richard Moore as he gives a public talk on the theme of compassion in action to celebrate 20 years of the Children in Crossfire initiative in Londonderry, Northern Ireland. The Dalai Lama is the patron of the Children in Crossfire charity, which was founded by Richard Moore. Mr. Moore was blinded by a plastic bullet fired by a British soldier during the Troubles in Derry. Getty Images. Participants in the annual Jane Austen Regency Costume Parade dance on the lawn of the historic Georgian Royal Crescent before they walk through the city centre in Bath, England. This year, the annual event coincided with the 200th anniversary of 19th-century author's death and saw hundreds of people parade through city centre streets dressed in Regency costume. The event marks the start of a 10-day Jane Austen festival that celebrates the 19th-century author who lived in the city from 1801 to 1806 and set 2 of her 6 published novels, Northanger Abbey and Persuasion, in Bath. Getty Festival goers brave the wind and the rain at Bestival Festival on the Lulworth Estate in Dorset. Matt Cardy. Getty Images. Conservators and museum staff pose as they inspect the Manchester Suffragette banner hanging in the Conservation Department of Manchester People's History Museum. For nearly 50 years the banner lay undiscovered in a Leeds charity shop. It will go on public display next year to mark the centenary of women gaining the vote. Christopher Furlong. Getty Images. Protesters wave placards in Parliament Square during a protest against a government pay cap in London. Thousands of protesters made up of nurses and supporters hold a demonstration in Westminster today calling on the government to end the 1% cap on public sector pay. Jack Taylor. Getty Images. USOE win. The great-grandson of Burma's last king visits Buckingham Palace. John Phillips. Getty Images. Protesters demonstrate in support of workers at British McDonald's restaurants striking over pay and other industrial relations issues near the Houses of Parliament in London. Reuters. World War II veteran from the Auxiliary Territorial Service Betty Webber joins other veterans who worked at Bletchley Park and its outstations for a group picture in front of Bletchley Park Mansion during an annual reunion in Milton Keynes, England. Bletchley Park was the Government Code and Cipher School's GCCS main code-breaking centre during World War II and the site where codebreakers famously cracked the Germans' Enigma and Lorenz ciphers. Getty Images. 50,000 people making the foot crossing over New Queens Ferry Road Bridge. EPA. Britain's Prime Minister, Theresa May, is greeted by Emperor Akihito of Japan during her visit to the Royal Palace in Tokyo, Japan. Mrs. May is on the 3rd and final day of her visit to Japan, where she has discussed a number of issues including trade and security. Carl Court. Getty Images. Well-wishers and royal enthusiasts gather outside the gates of Kensington Palace where tributes continue to be left on the 20th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana. Dan Kierkegaard. Getty Images. Prime Minister Theresa May takes part in a tea ceremony in Kyoto during her visit to Japan. PA revelers dance to music from a sound system with a Grenfell poster on it during the Notting Hill Carnival in London. The Notting Hill Carnival has taken place since 1966 and now has an attendance of over 2 million people. Chris J. Ratcliffe. Getty Images. Mayor of London Sadiq Khan takes part in a release of doves as a show of respect for those who died in the Grenfell Tower fire during the Notting Hill Carnival Family Day in West London. 8 people have died in a crash involving a minibus and 2 lorries on the M1 near Milton Keynes. All of those who died are believed to have been travelling in the minibus, which was from the Nottingham area. The 2 lorry drivers have been arrested, one of them on suspicion of driving while over the alcohol limit. Alamy, a Science Museum employee, poses next to the Wells Cathedral clock mechanism during a photo call at the Science Museum in London, England. The Wells Cathedral clock mechanism is believed to be one of the oldest in the world. Getty Images. Lavlyn Mendoza left and Jennifer Queeler celebrate after collecting the GCSE results at Shanmanning Roman Catholic Girls' School in West London. Ben Stevens. Pewire. Reverend Andrew Popper takes part in cricket match on the Brambles Sandbank at low tide on August 24, 2017 in Hamble, England. The annual event sees Hamble's Royal Southern Yacht Club team take on the Cowes-based Island Sailing Club in a game of cricket. Spectators from the Isle of Wight and Southampton travel on boats to watch the match, which lasts for around 45 minutes while the sandbank is exposed. Jack Taylor. Getty Images. People gather in Parliament Square to listen to the final chimes of Big Ben ahead of a 4-year renovation plan in London. The bell will still be used for special occasions such as marking New Year, but will remain silent on a daily basis, to allow the work teams to carry out structural repairs. Getty Images. The Liverpool crew enters the Mersey during the start of the Clip Around the World race at the Albert Docks, Liverpool. Former UKIP leader Nigel Farage poses for photographs with veterans and Chelsea pensioners next to a Spitfire on display at the Biggin Hill Festival of Flight in Biggin Hill, England. The Biggin Hill Festival of Flight is an annual airshow event, and in 2017, the airport is celebrating its centenary. The airport only became exclusively business and general aviation in 1959, prior to which it was used by the British Royal Air Force. Getty. The Isle of Skye is known as one of the most beautiful places in Scotland. However, its infrastructure services are being stretched to the limit by the number of visitors heading there to enjoy its rugged scenic beauty. Getty Images. Gráinne Closell and Shannon Sickles 2nd L alongside Henry Edmund Kane 3rd L and Christopher Patrick Flanagan 4th L at Belfast High Court speak to the media through the solicitor Mark O'Connor after the ruling on whether to allow same-sex marriage in Northern Ireland. In Belfast, Northern Ireland, the judge dismissed both cases. Same-sex marriage is recognised in the rest of the United Kingdom but not in Northern Ireland, where the largest political party, the DUP, has blocked proposed legislation. Shannon Sickles and Gráinne Close, the first women to have a civil partnership in the UK, and Henry Edmund Kane and Christopher Patrick Flanagan were challenging the Assembly's repeated refusal to legislate for same-sex marriage. Getty Ratings. Line the flight deck of HMS Queen Elizabeth, the UK's newest aircraft carrier, as she arrives in Portsmouth. The 65,000-ton carrier, the largest warship ever to be built in Britain, is expected to be the Navy's flagship for at least 50 years. People watch a bonfire in the Bogside area of Londonderry, which is traditionally torched on August 15 to mark a Catholic feast day celebrating the Assumption of the Virgin Mary into heaven, but in modern times the fire has become a source of contention and associated with antisocial behaviour. An artist's impression showing the proposed London Garden Bridge. The £200 million plan to build a bridge covered with trees over the River Thames in central London has been abandoned. The Garden Bridge Trust said it had failed to raise funds since losing the support of the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, in April. Issa Mo Farah stands at the top of the Coca-Cola London Eye as he bids a final farewell to British track athletics, after winning gold in the 10,000 metres and silver in the 5,000 metres at the IAAF World Championships in his home city. A dog retrieves a shot grouse on Lofthouse Moor in North Yorkshire as the glorious 12th, the official start of the grouse shooting season, gets underway. Grouse Moor Estates received millions of pounds in subsidies last year, according to analysis which comes amid a debate over the future of farming payments after Brexit. Hot air balloons in the air after taking off in a mass ascent at the Bristol International Balloon Fiesta. The scene in Roslin Avenue, Sunderland, after an explosion at a house. PA police on Goose Lane Bridge, which goes over the M11 motorway near Birchanga, which is closed after a van driver was killed in a motorway crash after what appears to be a lump of concrete struck his windscreen and his vehicle hit a tree. PA emergency services at the scene in Lavender Hill, southwest London, after a bus left the road and hit a shop. PA guards march up to Windsor Castle in the rain as a yellow weather warning for rain has been issued for parts of the UK. Heavy rain has brought flooding to the northeast of England. PA wire a car on fire in the North Queen Street area of Belfast, close to the site of a contentious bonfire. The car was torched shortly after 10 p.m. on Monday night. PA wire a post-Brexit trade deal with the US could see a massive increase in the amount of cancer-causing toxins in British milk and baby food. Reuters acts gather amongst the crowds at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. PA new world 100 metres champion Justin Gatlin pays respect to Usain Bolt after the Jamaican's last solo race. Reuters Katarina Johnson-Thompson of Great Britain Lane 6 and Caroline Schaefer of Germany Lane 7 and their opponents compete in the women's heptathlon 100 metres hurdles during Day 2 of the 16th IAAF World Athletics Championships London 2017 at the London Stadium. Getty Images Taoiseach Leo Varadkar is greeted by PSNI and Garda police officers representative of the gay community as he attends a Belfast Gay Pride breakfast meeting in Belfast, Northern Ireland. The Irish Prime Minister is on a two-day visit to the province, having already met with DUP leader Arlene Foster yesterday. The DUP, Northern Ireland's largest political party, have so far blocked attempts to legalise gay marriage. Getty Images members of Unite, employed by Serco Barts Health NHS Trust, on strike over pay, protest outside Serco's presentation of financial results at JP Morgan, in London. PA Athletics IAAF World Athletics Championships Preview London, Britain August 3, 2017. Great Britain's Mo Farah takes a photo in the stadium. Reuters Britain's Bank of England Governor, Mark Carney, addresses journalists during a press conference to deliver the quarterly inflation report in London, August 3, 2017. Reuters Bank of England and British Airways workers stage a protest outside the Bank of England in the City of London. PA Britain's Prince Philip, in his role as Captain General, Royal Marines, attends a parade to mark the finale of the 1664 Global Challenge, on the Buckingham Palace forecourt, in central London, Britain. The 96-year-old husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth made his final solo appearance at the official engagement on Wednesday, before retiring from active public life. Reuters Jamaica's Usain Bolt gestures during a press conference prior to Bolt's last World Championship, in East London. Getty Images riders wait at the start on Horse Guards Parade in central London ahead of the Prudential Ride London's Surrey Classic 2017 UCI World Tour cycle race in London. Getty Images horse and riders take part in the riding of the Marchers Ford on the River Esk, alongside the Roman Bridge in Musselburgh, East Lothian, during the annual Musselburgh Festival organised by the Honest Towns Association. A wide view of play during Day 2 of the third Investec Test match between England and South Africa at the Kia Oval. Jordan Mansfield. Getty Images. A nurse shows a message on his phone to colleagues as they take part in a protest near Downing Street in London. The Royal College of Nursing have launched a series of demonstrations, as part of their Summer of Protest campaign against the 1% cap on annual pay rises for most NHS staff. Carl Court. Getty Images. Two men look through binoculars at U.S. Navy Nimitz-class aircraft carrier USS George H.W. Bush anchored off the coast in Portsmouth, England. The 100,000-ton ship dropped anchor in the Solent this morning ahead of exercise Saxon Warrior 2017, a training exercise between the UK and USA. Jack Taylor. Getty Images. Connie Yates, mother of terminal 11-month-old Charlie Gard, arrives at the Royal Courts of Justice in London on where a High Court judge is set to decide where baby Charlie Gard will end his life. Daniel Lee Lollyvasa. UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson gestures while posing for a photograph at the Sydney Opera House, in Sydney. Johnson is there to attend a UKMIN, the annual meeting of UK and Australian foreign and defence ministers. Dan Himbrecht's Britain. Prime Minister Theresa May walks with her husband Philip in Desenzano del Garda, by the Garda Lake, as they holiday in northern Italy. Antonio Galagna. England team players pose after winning the ICC Women's World Cup cricket. Final between England and India at Lord's Cricket Ground in London. Adrian Dennis AFP Rajeshwari Gaikwad of India attempts to run out Jenny Gunn of England during the ICC Women's World Cup 2017 final between England and India at Lord's Cricket Ground in London. Sean Botterill. Getty Images. Chris Froome, wearing the overall leader's yellow jersey, celebrates on the podium after the 20th stage of the Tour de France cycling race, an individual time trial over 22.5 kilometers 14 miles with start and finish in Marseille, France. AP competitors take part in the swim stage during the AJ Bell London Triathlon 2017 at Royal Victoria Docks in London, England. The 21st annual AJ Bell Triathlon sees 13,000 competitors take part in the world's largest triathlon. Getty Images. Environment Secretary Michael Gove looks at screens in the information pod in the forest zone at the WWF Living Planet Centre in Woking, after he told an audience of environmental and countryside organisations that Brexit gives scope for Britain to be a global leader in green policy. A screen-grabbed image taken from video issued by NATS showing air traffic over the UK yesterday at 12:15 p.m, with red representing departures, yellow arrivals, purple domestic and blue overflights. Air traffic controllers are dealing with the busiest day in the UK's aviation history. A total of 8,800 planes are to be handled by controllers across the country over 24 hours, at the start of a summer season which is due to see a record 770,000 flights in UK airspace, 40,000 more than last year. PA Defence Secretary Sir Michael Fallon shows off his cufflinks after cutting steel on the first Type 26 frigate at BAE Systems Govan Shipyard, near Glasgow. PA Britain's Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson looks at a bipedal humanoid robot Wabian 2 at Research Institute for Science and Engineering at Waseda University's Kikuicho campus in Tokyo. Reuters. Eugene Hoshikople. A damaged road in Coverack, Cornwall, after intense rain caused flash flooding in the coastal village. PA Prince George holds hands with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge as they leave Warsaw. PA Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon during her visit to the site of Aberdeen Harbour's expansion into Nig Bay. Getty Images. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson arrives at Downing Street for the weekly cabinet meeting. Getty Images. Daniel Goodfellow and Tom Daley of Great Britain compete during the men's diving 10m synchro platform preliminary round on day 4 of the Budapest 2017 FINA World Championships on July 17, 2017 in Budapest, Hungary. Getty Images. Britain's Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson speaks to the press upon his arrival at the European Council for the Foreign Affairs Council in Brussels. Aurore Bellatarp. Getty Images. Switzerland's Roger Federer holds aloft the winner's trophy after beating Croatia's Marin Cilic in the men's singles final match, during the presentation on the last day of the 2017 Wimbledon Championships at the All England Lawn Tennis Club in Wimbledon, southwest London. Roger Federer won 63, 61, 64. Up. Getty Images. Garbiñe Muguruza of Spain celebrates victory with a trophy after the ladies' singles final against Venus Williams of the United States on day 12 of the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Championships at the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club at Wimbledon. Getty. The hearse departs St Joseph's Church after the funeral service for 6-year-old Sunderland FC fan Bradley Lowry in Hartlepool, England. Bradley was diagnosed with neuroblastoma aged only 18 months. Hundreds of people lined the streets to pay their respects to the Sunderland football supporter who lost his battle with cancer last Friday. Getty Images. The EU chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier, right, receives an Arsenal football top from Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn prior to a meeting at EU headquarters in Brussels. Olivia Hosler-Tapp.